Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
What is wrong with you people in this room, by the way? And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you for the next hour to talk sports, law, lifestyle, plenty of ways to interact with the program. Follow us at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram. You can ask us questions right there. We'll address them live on the air. You can also watch the TV show. It's Behind the Law on TV this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. We follow live, local, loud. Good job today. Great show. Nicky football in the 6 to 8 o'clock hour. We're going to do Allie Mack's news. We're also going to do a great interview today with Frank Ioppolo Jr. He's an excellent attorney here, board member at Sanford International Airport. You'll also have a chance to win my money. In the third segment, it's Stump the Clarkie. Any questions that you have will be answered. 321-282-1055. Allie Mack, hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So, did you watch the State of the Union or not?
I did watch a little bit of it,
How long?
I was just, give me a second.
Okay.
So, I wake up so early that
Yeah.
I go to bed and I start literally getting tired around 9:30.
What do you get up, like 8:15?
Horrible. I get up around 5:30.
Yeah, right, dude. No, you don't. You might
I
have
don't
gotten up at like 5
physically get
o'clock
up out
one
of
time.
bed, but yes, I'm
Okay.
up. So
So get a
especially
water.
yesterday. So I only watched like maybe 5-10 minutes of it, but my husband said it was pretty good. But you know, when I woke up this morning, I saw the articles and comments. So I still need to watch the whole thing.
My number one ranked Tennessee Volunteers were playing basketball last night at
Were they?
9 o'clock it started. So 9 to 11. So I recorded the State of the Union. Then I go to bed and I have this decision to make, right? 'Cause the game's over. I go lay in bed, 11:15, and there are two things right next to each other on the DVR. State of the Union or the Below Deck Reunion. Don't
Oh
tell
my
anybody.
gosh.
The Below Deck. Have you ever seen that show? It's great. It is. Look, I am so sorry to admit, but I don't really care. The Below Deck Reunion was on, but I chose State of the Union. I watched most of it. I fell asleep a little bit. It was, I mean, whatever. You know who was making a real pouty face was that new representative. We bring Frank Ioppolo in here, first of all. Frank, how are you? Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
What
Thank you
is
for
her
having
name?
me.
She was making like the snootiest face last
Yeah,
night.
I think they affectionately refer to her as AOC because it's Alexandria something or other
Ocasio-Cortez.
There
Yeah,
you
something
go.
like that. I mean, she's definitely not a Trump fan, you can tell. I mean, yeah, I was like, she was scaring me. I was like, whoa, I don't know what's going on here. But so I did watch some of it. It was fine. I don't know. It was
And
fine.
it was the longest.
I believe
State
it was
of
the
Union.
longest State of the Union at 82 minutes that they've ever had.
Really?
I believe that's what I heard this morning.
Unbelievable. I didn't know that. Now, the red tie at the beginning was a little obnoxious because it was, to the left. You would think if you're the president, State of the Union time, that they'd give you like some kind of tie bar or something to keep that
Oh, yes,
straightened
that's
out. Did you notice that?
Yes, I
now,
did.
maybe I fell asleep before they fixed it. Who fixed it? Did you see?
If you saw hands coming up from underneath
Yeah.
the podium, it's a whole
That
different
would have been very
It's a whole
controversial.
different issue at that point.
321-282-1055. Allie Mack, I know you got some news for us today.
I do.
If it's on the internet, she's talking about it. It's What's Going On with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on? So I'm going to be talking about the Super Bowl. I know it's already done, but there's still stuff in the news about it. So the Patriots won the Super Bowl. Woo! Go Pats. For you.
Absolutely.
That's for you.
Thank
That's for you.
I know Frank's not happy with me.
But there are some players that are not going to be visiting the White House.
Okay.
They were saying.
Who?
So there's a couple of players. I don't have the name with me.
It's not a test.
So it's something that it's kind of becoming a trend.
Oh, yeah, big time.
More and more, and some people are have different opinions on it. But what are your thoughts on it?
I can tell you
It's
exactly what my
just-
opinion is. I'm perfectly okay if you just hate this guy in office or whatever, if you don't want to go. I get it. There is a lack of respect for the office for sure. A lot of times you hear about the office of the president. I'm okay with you not going. What I'm not okay with is if you show up in D.C. like the Warriors did and meet with former President Obama and Nancy Pelosi. I don't like that because that's just a slap in the face of the office of the
Okay.
president. I'm okay if you don't want to go, whatever, you disagree with them as politics, whatever it is. But I don't think you can really just show them up by going to visit with Obama and Pelosi. I don't like that.
Well, I get you on one side, as far as I understand on one side, but maybe they're trying to display, maybe they're showing kind of their sense of what they feel like Colin Kaepernick. So maybe they're doing some.
What else is in the news, Allie Mac?
You don't want to talk about that, okay?
But did you notice? So speaking of the Super Bowl, my old neighborhood in Boston, the North End, great neighborhood actually. Have you ever been to been to Boston?
No.
Okay, fantastic neighborhood. But you should Google Boston fight because they had the parade yesterday in Boston, the Patriots parade. There was an absolute brawl right next to my old apartment in the North End.
Wow.
Just a bunch of drunk. I don't know if I can say the word. Kind of like Massachusetts rednecks, we would say. We have a word for it. I just don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the air. Just drunk, hammered, and just brawling in the middle of the street.
They were having a big
you guys
party.
Were angry winners.
Yeah, we are. I mean,
thank God you didn't lose.
I know, right? We've won so much recently that we have nothing else to do other than fight with each other, by the way.
Wow. Well, continue to speak about the Super Bowl. So the LA Rams running back, which is Gurley,
Yep.
unstoppable during the regular season. He was actually going for a shot at the MVP as well. So they're reporting he faded quickly during the NFC title game, and nobody knows why. The coaches said that there was no restrictions or he had no illness at all. So, why was it that, it wasn't passed to him? He was throughout the season, he was doing incredible.
Well, we were obviously all expecting to hear about some sort of ACL, at least sprain, the day after the Super Bowl. I haven't heard anything yet. Frank, have you heard anything? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. He was a fantastic player all year. I mean, I still am waiting on them to say he has an ACL.
He sat out most of the first quarter, right?
Exactly, and the game before.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know what's up with Gurley, but something's amiss, obviously.
We should try to get him on the show.
Yeah, sure.
So he could explain what happened.
Yeah, you heard it right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
So let's talk about the I-4 Ultimate project.
I'd be happy to.
Did you hear the news that somebody passed away? 59-year-old worker was taken to Advent Health with a life-threatening injury, and he died, I believe, in the hospital or on the way to the hospital. He was struck by an 18-inch, 20-foot iron pipe. And apparently he's not the only worker on the project to die during the project. And
I think that if you do a construction project of that magnitude, obviously you're going to have some on-the-job injuries. I mean, there's no doubt about it. What I don't understand, hi, Brianna. How are you, by the way? The beautiful Brianna is here. I haven't even introduced her yet. Hi, Brianna. What's up? How's it going?
And you don't even get a mic.
Yeah. What's
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well. Thank you very much. What I don't like about the I-4 Ultimate project is the on-ramps, guys. Please.
They're getting
this
crazy.
is like dangerous. I mean, these interstates around here are dangerous enough. The on-ramp from Maitland heading back to Seminole County is like just downright dangerous.
Yeah.
Literally, the Maitland cops just sit there because they know there's going to be an accident in the next 10, 15 minutes. It's every day.
Every day.
It's crazy. Make the on-ramps longer, guys.
Exactly.
And did we ever get anyone on the show from, you said you were reaching out. We need someone from the...
We have someone that is scheduled to come
Okay,
on
good. Well, we have some questions.
show.
Look, we're not going to bash you. We understand it's a big deal, but just want to know.
I might have some few questions.
I have
comments.
some harsh questions.
So the Florida Department of Transportation is actually suspending work on I-4 right now. So, that's I'll be following it because it also affects us and our commute as well.
When does this end? Do we know when it ends? Are we still like a decade away? I mean, it's a long time away.
It says winter of 2019.
No,
That's soon.
2022.
Yeah. I mean, we're a few years away at least.
Wow.
It's the most dangerous road in the country.
Yeah, I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
So, in Allie Mac News, I want to let everybody know that my company is also doing a special for social media marketing for the month of February. So if you want to get a quote for social media management for your business, please contact me at 407-242-2626, or you can message me on Behind the Law Radio, or you can look me up on Allie Mac Consulting. We have some great specials going on for business owners, and can't wait to hear about your business.
Good job today. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark, Allie Mac, the beautiful Brianna as well, joined today by a lawyer. You know his name, Frank Ioppolo Jr. Frank, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great.
As I was looking into you a little bit, I was like, this is a really cool guy. But then I started looking at your dad, too. I mean, your dad was into everything, right? I mean, he essentially was really pivotal in bringing Disney World here. Tell me a little bit about your dad first.
My dad is probably the best lawyer I've ever known.
Is that
Wall
right?
Street lawyer. As a young lawyer, helped assemble the land that became Walt Disney World. Disney became his favorite client as a New York lawyer. And in 1989, Frank Wells and Michael Eisner brought him down as general counsel.
Wow.
So he worked directly for Frank and Michael, even though he lived here in Florida because he didn't want to move to California. Yeah. Created a cruise line, bought an island, created the timeshare business, helped with Euro Disney. The Broadway Theater was done and created on his watch. Dad, still alive and well, does a little practice, but he is an amazing attorney.
Awesome. And is that how you got into law, would you say? Dad, I mean, did Dad really get you in?
If you weren't able to defend yourself at the kitchen table, you probably weren't going to survive dinner, so you had to learn how to advocate quick.
Plenty more questions with Frank Ioppolo. We're going to ask about the Stanford International Airport, what's in store for them. Maybe even a daughter might be attending a university a little north of here that the colors may be orange. We might ask you about that as well. All of that right on the other side of this break. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
I'm not playing that anymore. That's the last time, Allie Mac. You dance, and then I'm like, what am I
asking
doing?
you to play
I
that.
keep asking people to delete that from the intro music here, but whatever. Justin Clark with you. Behind the Law, 321-282-1055. If you want to watch the program, follow us at Behind the Law Radio. Allie Mac's here. The beautiful Brianna is here as well. Joined today by a special guest, attorney Frank Ioppolo. Frank, thanks for being here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about, as I was reading your CV, I mean, a lot of board work, but especially, and I've seen your name a lot in Seminole County with the Sanford International Airport, right? How did you get involved with that?
About 5 years ago, I was chatting with the mayor, and he asked if I'd be interested in filling a seat that was coming open on the Orlando Sanford International Airport Board. So I interviewed, and the city council was nice enough to appoint me. So I'm one of 9 directors. I spent 3.5 years as chairman of the board.
Yep.
And during that time, we renegotiated some of their largest contracts, and it's been a great experience. It's been the fastest growing small hub airport in the country for 2 of the last 4 years.
I did not know that.
We just broke 3 million passengers this year.
Unbelievable. What do you see as the future? I mean, Sanford, for me, a guy who lives in Lake Mary, and Knoxville, Tennessee. You know, I have a lot of family there still.
Go Vols.
How convenient is it? An hour, 10 minutes later, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee on a Legion Air. Mm-hmm. What is the future that you see? What is your vision for Sanford International Airport?
You know, we are now 25% into a $65 million expansion of the airport. We're adding 4 gates. The county invested $27 million in a sports complex nearby. Allegiant put in $20 million in a training facility.
Wow.
As I said, we just broke 3 million passengers. We have signed a letter of intent, and I'm hoping to announce in the next week or two 2 hotels that will be located there.
No kidding.
Talking to some restaurant groups. We have 500 acres of developable property that are non-aviation related, so a lot of expansion right now.
And now, is that in Sanford or is that Seminole County? Who do you guys work with more? Is it Seminole County or is it Sanford?
The airport itself, 75 years ago, was a naval air naval air base.
Right.
The Navy gave it to Sanford, who created an independent special district, and it's in Sanford, and it's managed, if you will. The city council of Sanford appoints the directors. The directors manage the airport.
And my understanding is we do not have TSA at SFB, do we?
We do. TSA
Okay.
is a governmental entity, but what we are one of the very few airports that did is we privatized. So although TSA is there and they are a partner, a valued partner, and help monitor things, we have a private company, Trinity Security, which provides security. So during the shutdown, for example, our folks were unaffected because they weren't TSA employees. We've gotten tremendous feedback from the passengers. It works very, very well.
I'm wondering why, you've been on all these boards, I'm wondering why no one ever approaches me about being on a board. How does that happen? At what point in your life does it start happening? I'm starting to feel a little bit left out here. No one's like banging on my door saying, hey, we want you on our board, Justin. How does it happen?
Maybe they don't feel comfortable asking you for tens of thousands of dollars of free time, because that's exactly what happens
Oh,
here.
never mind. I didn't know it was free.
It is clearly a community service.
Yeah,
and,
I'm just kidding.
It's important to do.
How about my man Patrick Austin over in Sanford? He's a good guy, right?
Patrick's doing great. His daughter and my daughter used to be cheerleaders together.
Oh, no kidding.
So I've known Patrick for a while. He's super.
Good deal. All right, let's talk about your law practice a little bit, because I notice you represent all sorts of different corporations and things. What is your real focus when it comes to the practice of law?
I'm a business lawyer is the easiest way to think about it. So anytime there is a transaction between two businesses, they need somebody like me to represent them, whether it's a financing, so I'm representing the money or the borrower. If it's a merger and acquisition, I'm representing the buyer or the seller. It can be an international public-private partnership where I can represent government or the private sector. But any kind of business deal you can think of is usually somebody like me.
Got it. I noticed that at some point in time, not even that long ago, you were general counsel and I think CFO of a pretty big corporation.
I was the chief operating officer and general counsel for a company called Market Leverage Media. They were one of my favorite clients, and they recruited me out of Greenberg Traurig, and I became a partner in the business and ran the business for about 3 years. We were successful in growing that business to about $40 million, 65 employees, and then we sold the main part of it. And it was time for me to go back and decide if I was going to practice law back at a big firm, move, or do something new. And I liked being an entrepreneur, so I opened up my own firm.
When a young person comes up to you, young cousin or whatever, they're in high school, maybe even in college, and they say, Frank, we've been following your career, and I just know I want to be a lawyer. I want to go to law school. What do you say?
Don't go. No.
Every attorney seems to say that.
Believe it or not.
We all have the same joke.
Really?
Yeah, right behind the
No,
diploma.
I don't know that it's a joke, though, for a lot of people. What do you normally tell them?
What I say to people is law today is very much, a law degree is like an MBA. So if you're going to go to law school, you're not limited to just practicing law. I mean, look at what you're doing here, right? You've got multidisciplines.
Right.
If you think you want to be in business, get a law degree and marry it with an MBA. Those two things are helpful. You'll have a leg up over your peers. And recognize that any business that involves the way you make money being how much time you spend and how much you can charge is going to be really dependent on how hard you work. So you really might want to think about doing something or adding some things to your business repertoire that can make money while you're sleeping.
Makes perfect sense. You worked at Greenberg, I know. I think a shareholder there. Now you have your own, much smaller firm, of course, because it's you. Describe the difference, big firm versus small firm. And I'm going to preface this with, I've always had my own firm. I knew from day one I was never going to go work at the big firm. I was always going to kind of start my own thing. So I've never had the big firm experience. How would you describe the differences?
Going from 1,800 lawyers in 34 cities to, I've been as large as 10 and as small as 2. All the infrastructure that as a partner in a big law firm, you walk in, there's an office, there's a phone, there's a computer, lights come on. You don't have to worry about any of that, right? As a smaller firm, you worry about all of it. What you find, though, I think the biggest difference is when you're a young lawyer and you come out of school, most clients realize you don't know what you're doing. So the name on the outside of the door, a Greenberg Traurig, establishes your credibility. Hopefully you reach a point where the name on the outside of the door becomes irrelevant, and now they're hiring you. That's why the New York Yankees don't have names on the back of their jerseys, right? So I was fortunate to have built a large client base, even after I had left the practice and come back, and people hired me. They didn't hire the firm name, so I cut the overhead and put the difference in my pocket.
It makes sense. Makes perfect sense. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark, Allie Mack, Brianna is here. We're talking to Frank Ioppolo Jr., attorney here in town, member of the board of the Sanford International Airport. You made fun of my Boston hat as soon as you walked in. I couldn't help but notice that. I'm assuming maybe you grew up in New York?
Yeah, it's a pretty safe assumption.
Okay. Tell me about you. Where Frank grew up where? Where'd you go to school?
I grew up on Long Island in a place called Manhasset in Port Washington. Went to high school at Paul D. Schreiber High School. Left for 4 years to go to Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and then came back and did law school at Fordham Law School at Lincoln Center in New York. So I am a unapologetic New York Yankee fan,
That's all right.
an unapologetic New York Giant fan. We really like the Patriots in the Super Bowl. My favorite pictures are Tom Brady on his back. Although you got to respect what the two of them have done, Brady and
better
Belichick.
believe it.
Oh, my God.
Most
Better
definitely.
believe it. And so how did you guys end up down in Florida?
My dad moved down in 1988 when Michael Eisner and Frank Wells came to get him. And I thought I would be here for a very short period of time. I figured I'd take a job here for a year or two and then go right back to New York. And I met a girl and stayed and had kids and got married and then got divorced. And here I am, right? And
Circled all the way back
there you
around.
go, circle of life. There's never a hyena around to eat
Exactly.
something when you need it. No.
Hey, how would you describe your time spent in a normal week? Is most of your time spent dealing with regular clients, regular legal work, or mostly on the business side, the director side?
Most of it is legal work. My week depends on whether or not I have my son, who's a junior at Lake Highland. So when I'm the single dad, it starts with breakfast in the morning with him and dinner at night with him when he's not there. Most of my stuff is on the telephone with clients. So a lot of work. My day I'll have 10 or 15 conference calls through it. Between the conference calls and before and after, I'm generating documents or I'm doing an analysis or I'm making a presentation. The holy grail for a lawyer is to be thought of by your client as something other than a lawyer, to be a business counselor. Mm-hmm. So I've been very fortunate that my clients will call me about everything from how do I buy this business to where does my son go to college.
I did notice that you said your beautiful daughter decided to go to a school about 550 miles north of here, color orange, starts with a T, the beautiful school of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. How did that happen?
Of all things, we went to a college fair,
Yeah.
and my daughter thought she wanted to go to a small school, and we were waiting online, and the lady from the University of Tennessee happened to be standing next to the table and engaged my daughter in a conversation. Tremendous ambassador for the school. We left. Olivia got online and did the research and said, Dad, I want to go. We flew up together. She took one look at the school and said, I want to come here. I said,
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
Your job is to get in, honey. So
Fantastic. I'm just now getting to a point where they're circling back around and recruiting me again, but for money now. And I've never considered doing it, but I'm thinking about doing it. What do you think about giving back to this? I'm like, I paid to go to school there, but now I'm really thinking in my head that I should donate money to the school. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah?
Wake Forest and Fordham Law School, two great places for me. I've been a contributor since the day I left both places.
All right.
And they get you at the parent level, too. Believe me. I
Is that
wasn't
right?
on campus 10 minutes before somebody said, join the Parents Club.
I bet. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Short timeout. We're going to come back and play Stump the Clarkie, your chance to win my money. Go ahead and follow at Behind the Law Radio. Get geared up. If you answer questions right there, you can win Justin Clark's money. More ahead. Stump the Clarkie and Frank Ioppolo. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thanks for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. Allie Mack is to my left. Hello, Allie Mack. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
The beautiful Brianna is pushing the buttons, making sure we're on the air directly to my right. Hello, Brianna.
Hello, Justin.
What's going on? So can you guys please tell me about this event tomorrow, please? I have to wear heels or something?
Yes,
All right.
heels, and you have to paint your nails.
Fill me in on this. And my daughter's going, by the way. Did I tell you?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I convinced her to cancel her horse riding lessons.
Well, we're going to be going, Behind the Law is going to be going live tomorrow in the 7th annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. And we're going to be, I believe it's at the courthouse, the Orange County Courthouse. We'll be there broadcasting live at 5 o'clock. There is, if you want to participate, please register. I believe that you can find the page of Walk a Mile in Her Shoes and do the registration. And we also have it on our page as well. So stop by, meet our host, meet us. If you want to take pictures, if you want to grab some information from us, we look forward to being broadcasting this event.
Beautiful. Look, it's a great cause. I'm not looking forward to walking a mile in women's shoes.
I'm sure you are.
What are you going to
do?
All right, you ready to play Stump the Clarky? You're going to win my money. We're going to have 4 questions. Follow us right now at Behind the Law Radio. You can answer the questions to win my money right there.
All right, and now it's time for Stump the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
Thank you, Fulton Alum. Brianna, what is the category today?
You know, since we have a Renaissance man on the show, I figured we should just do a mashup of trivia questions.
That means you didn't prepare, and you just prepared on the fly?
Well, no. That's
what I heard.
I prepared on the fly, and it's easier when you have one topic.
All right, go ahead. If you want to play along, 321-282-1055. Go ahead. Question number 1.
Question number 1. What is the population of Seminole County?
Frank Ioppolo is here too, by the way. He's the man about town in Seminole County. He's gonna know this like to the
hopefully
T, I think.
Yeah, can I call a lifeline? Do I call a friend?
Yeah, right.
Not call a friend.
You can call Allie Mack.
Yeah. Get a hint. We normally get hints.
Oh, it's 6 figures. Erase all them zeros, Justin.
Yeah. Stop looking at what I'm writing.
Question number 2. How many registered lobbyists are there?
In
the United States.
What?
Lobby? Oh, man.
I think that's an unfair question.
Is it?
I think that's a very unfair question.
In our pre-show meeting, Frank stated that he's a lobbyist, so I thought that'd be great.
Oh, jeez. Can I answer one?
And I mean, I don't know if this is like, is this state? Is this federal? I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just going to write an answer down.
Write an answer. Registered.
But I still think that's a very bad question.
Not those. Okay.
Don't worry. You'll hear about it.
I'm sure I will. I'm hearing about it now.
You will hear the buzzer in a few minutes.
Now and later.
It's behind the law playing Stump the Clarky with Frank Ioppolo. Go ahead. Question number 3, Brianna.
Question number 3. What year was the city of Sanford incorporated? What year was the city of Sanford? See, he doesn't know. The city of Sanford incorporated.
Frank, if you don't know that one, I'm going to call Patrick Austin and probably tell on you, pal.
I'm going to call Patrick for my lifeline. Patrick, what the hell's the answer?
All right. One more question ahead on Stump the Clarky. Brianna, question number 4. What do you have?
Question number 4 is about sports because,
thank God.
Yeah, Frank is really active in the sports community. So I just wanted to know, what was the first recorded sport?
Recorded like you...
TV, radio?
Nope, like recorded, like documented. And it was recorded in 760 BC. So that should frame your mind. What was the first
760
recorded
BC.
Sport?
You don't have enough to do if you're researching this stuff. We need to tweak the job description.
Don't give him ideas. Wait.
The first recorded sport?
Tell me that question one more time because, first of all, look, The three of us are about to judge your questions in a moment.
Are we get another question?
And it's going to be 3 against 1. The first recorded sport. So let's think about this, guys. Maybe we should be on the same team here for a minute.
Okay.
I don't know. Caveman. I don't know. What are the cavemen doing?
It's going to involve
throwing?
a rock, and it's going to involve a stick.
760 BC, which was also the first recorded Olympics in Rome, by the way. So if you were to think about that, that's a huge hint. If you know your history, stop saying that.
All right.
I was like,
I guess it's time to score the game. I don't know. It's
Brianna
First
wins.
recorded.
you're listening to Behind the Law on ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark, Allie Mack, Brianna playing here today with Frank Ioppolo as well. But
Let's hear it. Come on.
this is just for the questions that Brianna came up with
Go ahead.
today.
I agree.
Where
I
did you get that
definitely
answer
agree.
from?
That's for question number 2. And for question number 4.
Better luck next time.
That's right. All right, let's score this game, Brianna. Question number 1. What was it?
The population of Seminole County.
Frank Ioppolo, what did you say?
325,000.
Okay. Allie Mack.
300,000.
300,000. Justin Clark went with, I think, too much, 430,000 people.
Nope. A little over 462,000.
Whoa! That'd be
good
1
call.
0 0. That's okay. I'll take the point for that. Question number 2 of the beautiful Brianna here on Stump the Clarkie. What was the question again?
Does that?
Registered lobbyist, he does.
Go ahead.
In the U.S.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's for the question.
Yes.
Better luck
the
next
question.
time.
No.
That was a terrible
no
question.
good.
All right.
All right.
So the question literally was, ladies and gentlemen, how many registered lobbyists are there? Like, where? In Florida? In the nation? In the universe?
I said in the U.S., but,
Okay. Okay.
can bypass that, I guess.
I went with 1,200 registered lobbyists, which I imagine has to be too low if you're considering states as well, but I don't know. Allie Mack, what did you say?
I have 2,525.
Sounds like a pretty good answer. Frank?
Yeah, I had a runaway pen. It's 7,500.
Okay.
7,500.
What is the correct answer?
Your pen was jogging. It's 11,444.
Give that one to Frank Ioppolo.
There we go. We'll take
That's
that one.
Good deal, good deal.
Awesome. Frank wins.
And question number 3, Brianna, what was it?
What year was the city of Sanford incorporated?
Frank, we'll go with you first. What did you say?
I went 1885.
Nice.
And Allie Mack
1923.
and Justin Clark went with 1812.
All right.
I live in an orchestra, but I don't know if we had a city.
That's okay. 1877. Frank gets
that
it
would be
again.
Frank pulls ahead 2-1. We'll give that point there to Frank.
This is not fun for me.
I know. Well, trust me. If we just gang up on Brianna for her questioning today, you'll feel better about yourself.
If they had better social media, you would have nailed it. I'm telling
Yeah,
you. This
there
just
you
tells
go.
you how badly they need your help.
See?
And the final question today is Stump the Clarkie. Brianna, what is it?
What was the first recorded sport?
Okay, I'll go first here and embarrass myself because I don't even think this is makes sense, but I said gladiator. You know what I mean?
Gladiating.
Yeah, gladiating.
I said gladiator fights.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So
I
same
like
thing.
it.
All
I
right.
like it.
Frank Ioppolo, what is
I
it?
went track and field.
That's a pretty good answer, actually. What is the correct answer, Brianna?
It's track and field, guys. It's running.
There you go.
It's running. Obviously.
That is a victory today, 3-1 for Frank Ioppolo. Frank, you'd be happy to know that we've been playing this game for a long time. The first time I've ever been beaten. Right? No.
Second time.
Second time.
I'm feeling pretty good about that.
And you took me down pretty easily today. I mean, who says gladiator? You know what I mean?
Me and you. That too. Me and you.
That's a little scary, I would say, right? Gladiator.
That was a sport back then.
It was absolutely a sport.
Yeah, definitely. It might not have been the first one, but.
But is it called gladiator? Or what is the name
Gladiator
for it?
Or the
Fighting?
Coliseum, the games is what
Yeah.
they call it,
Yeah,
right?
the games.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Chariot races, gladiators.
Who knows? So I'll take my first second defeat in Stump the Clarkie, right?
funny.
We have one more segment ahead with Frank Ioppolo. Is your child thinking about going to law school? We're going to ask that question and plenty more right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One final segment ahead of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thanks for spending your weeknights here with us. We follow Nicky football and live, local, loud on our favorite sports radio station. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. You can follow us at Behind the Law Radio. You can watch the show right there. Also, look, don't forget to watch the TV show. It's me and Ali Mack on Behind the Law on TV 27 every Sunday morning at 10 a.m.
He's shortening my name.
I think I called you Mally Hack.
It's going to be before the day is over.
I don't know what is wrong with me. We're joined today by Frank Ioppolo. He's a lawyer, well-known guy in Seminole County, on the board of directors for Stanford International Airport. Hey, Frank, let me ask you this question. How do you feel about the leadership in Seminole County as we currently stand?
We have some very talented people, and we have some people who need to retire.
Would you ever run for office?
That's not my preference.
Can't take the pay cut?
The pay cut would suck, but I think I have a little bit too outspoken from time to time. I think I tend to call it like I see it, and I think that would scare the scare the hell out of people who are used to being in government service.
I know we built a new sports park there that I keep hearing about. I think close to the airport there in Stanford.
Right adjacent to it.
What's going on with that? I still don't know exactly what it is. What's going on over there?
It is a softball complex. It's got 16 or 18 fields. Some of them are natural. Some of them are artificial turf. It's been a tremendous facility. The county made an investment of almost $27 million. Wow. And in the first year alone, which was not a full year, they exceeded the projections by, I think, 100%. So we have between 200,000 and 300,000 people who come in just to use that facility on the 3 or 4 days of the weekends. They stay in the county. You can see our tourist revenue is up from the bed taxes. So it's been a wonderful addition to the community.
You're on the board of directors, was it chairman of Stanford International? Okay, former chairman of Stanford International Airport, so you know a lot more about that place than most. I can tell you, if Allegiant went away and we didn't have that airport there, it would really negatively affect my life. But I have a fear that people like Allie McCarroll, who live downtown, literally when they are searching for flights, don't even know that airport is that is even an option. They don't even go search for flights there. You know what I mean? I mean, how do we really get the word out to people in other parts of our community that this airport is there and we have plenty of destinations?
You know, it's a great question. One of the reasons about a year and a half ago we brought in Lauren Rowe. Now, you may recognize the name because Lauren was an Emmy Award-winning journalist on television here and now does our communications and government affairs work. So Lauren has systematically been helping to build social media. She's been helping to build better marketing presence. We work with our partners at airports worldwide. We actually had some terrific television spots during the World Cup this year on Telemundo, and the reason we did that is because we want the category as we move into World Cup when it comes to this community in a couple of years. So it's more advertising, it's more social media, it's getting the word out through word of mouth. And when you have 3 million passengers a year, people are starting to take notice.
You have a lot of experience, and I know you worked for a large advertising company as well as the CFO. But you also represent, it seems like, a lot of people and advise them in regards to advertising and things like that. I mean,
I've done a lot of that.
I mean, what do you see happening? What do you see the future of law and advertising?
You know, social media is one of those things that has really completely changed the landscape of a lot of traditional areas, and law is one of them. So when someone writes on Facebook something that is defamatory, is Facebook liable? When somebody gives a bad review on Yelp to your restaurant or to your law practice, how does that affect it? So it's not just advising clients on how to help protect their reputation. It's also dealing with individuals and saying, look, you know, the anonymity that the internet gives you emboldens people. You know, in the old days, if you opened up your mouth when you shouldn't, you got called out across the street from the schoolyard. You settled it in about a minute and a half, and you moved on. Now they hide behind names, and you need court orders to get who these people are. So we do a lot in terms of planning for businesses and helping them deal with things before they happen. We help deal with the things when they happen. And then from time to time when we have somebody who steps in it, we try to help them out.
Let's say I'm a business owner and I do have questions about that, or I'm doing a transaction and I need someone like you to represent me. What's the best way to reach out to you, Frank Ioppolo?
Best way is pick up the phone. You can find me on the internet. ilg.law is the website. You can call information, but telephone works the best. If you're going to do a transaction, get me involved before you sign a letter of intent. Get me involved before you sit down to negotiate it, because you may have lost the battle or severely interfered with your rights and opportunities before you had. I can tell you what you died of, but I can't fix it.
Exactly. I find, and Allie Mack's a social media expert, Allie Mack Consulting, fantastic at what they do. But I find it fascinating, these people, because there's always going to be, whether you're a restaurant owner, you're going to have customers, or whether you're a law firm owner, you're going to have clients. They're just bad people. They want to badmouth you. They want to get their money back for no reason. They want something for free, and they have all of this anonymity, like you're saying, and they can just say whatever in the world they want to say bad about your restaurant, your law firm, your tire change place, whatever it is. Is there any sort of liability? I mean, can we sue them for some of these things? Because this is damaging to businesses.
You're seeing some of it now where people are suing individuals for a bad Yelp review or a bad review. But, sometimes the best way to protect your business isn't necessarily legal. And that's why, for example, some of the things Allie does is so important. For a long time, people would give their secretary the opportunity to manage their social media. Mm-hmm. And she may be a phenomenal secretary and a wonderful person, but that's not a social media perspective. How quickly you respond, what platform you respond on, how do you address the issue? Those are things that people who are trained in social media and customer service do, and they can make a difference in your business far more than suing somebody after the fact.
Yeah, it's Behind the Law,
Very
ESPN
true.
580 Orlando. Allie Mack, let me ask you. So if someone puts a bad review against, let's say, my law firm on Facebook, can I control that and take it down, or does it stay there?
You can't take it down. There's different companies that will filter different reviews and help it, what they call it, kind of like bury it. It's called burying it. That will just post different positive reviews on your Yelp account. You can also kind of just start letting your clients know, hey, start posting some reviews. I know the clients that have good reviews start posting more reviews. You can't really get rid of them, but you can bury them so that your score starts picking up. But you got to see it. If you're going to be asking for reviews, you also have to see you're going to get mixed reviews. You're going to get positive ones. You're not just asking people to leave positive reviews. You're asking them for, if there's something that I need for my business to change or to, you need to hire more staff in the front. You also need to take that and apply it. If it applies to you, then you should also make those changes. But I think you should always address a review. If it's a negative one, you have to act on it very, very quickly. Act on it, contact that person, and try to remedy the situation. A lot of times, if you try to remedy with that person, then they'll follow up on that review, and they'll leave you another review, a positive one that will also, people will see that review, but they'll also see the chain that where you tried to, to remedy it, and you did, and they left you a good review.
If you look at it as an opportunity for customer service, somebody writes something bad about your business. Rather than deny it, if it's true, take responsibility for it. Fix the problem. As Allie said, people will respond well to that. Not only the people who had the problem fixed, but people who say, okay, things happen in business, but these guys care.
Okay, but some people out there are going to put bad reviews just almost for no reason. They want to get their money back or whatever. As the business owner, this is for both of you. How do you respond to negative reviews that are just simply inaccurate? Do I fire back and say, hey, you're an a-hole? Or do I say, I'm sorry? I mean, what is the best way to respond to a negative review that is really just not accurate?
I'll get clients who say, send a cease and desist letter, send a threatening letter. And I'll try to counsel them against it because you don't want to perpetuate that string. So the more things that you do, I send you a nasty letter and say, I'm going to sue you. So the guy gets back on and says, you won't believe this. Their lawyers sent me a letter. So now it's popped back up in the search results. So then I sue him. It pops back up in the search results. You're not going to stop the bad review, but you can stop giving it oxygen.
What I've also found is a lot of these people who they have no lives who put some of these bad reviews, and they literally have nothing to do all day, and if you fire back, now this is like giving them something to do.
Yeah.
Now they're going to go review you on every site. So, I mean, I agree with you two that the advice is typically not to fire back something nasty. It's, try to resolve it, I guess.
You should always address it like a business. We're sad that you're dissatisfied with our service. Somebody will contact you shortly or something. Very business-like, because if you start kind of taunting them, you're taunting somebody. So you're going to be expecting kind of, a backlash back and forth. But if you address it, like if you're an attorney, I'm going to have my attorney reach out to you. We're sorry for the inconvenience we caused, and somebody will be with you. So you should always address it.
Frank
Never just leave it.
Ioppolo, one more time. How do we reach out if you're a business owner and you need a good corporate attorney doing some transaction work or just need advice to start up a business? How do we reach out?
ILG, Ioppolo Law Group, ilg.law on the internet.
Perfect. Thanks for being here, man. I look forward to doing business with you in the future. Nice to finally meet you.
Thank you for having me.
And Allie Mac, real quick, we're going to be somewhere special tomorrow.
We are.
And we're going to be broadcasting live from there, which I look forward to it, but I don't look forward to moving all this equipment there.
You look forward to wearing heels.
And I'm going to be wearing, if you want to see me wear heels tomorrow and walk a mile in her shoes, where do we go?
February 7th, we're going to be at the Orange County Courthouse, and we are going to be broadcasting live from Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. And it's going to be a great cause, great time, and you get to see Justin in wearing heels and walking
Are you bringing
around.
your own heels, or are they going to provide them?
Brianna already ordered them on Amazon.
Okay.
That's where we order everything at this office, it seems like, anymore. For Brianna, good job today. I'll see you tomorrow. For Allie Mac, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night, ESPN 580 Orlando.